Good morning, BG. Well, what do we have? We've got a sailboat on a mooring, but that mooring is no longer attached to the block. So now the sailboat is just dragging the mooring around. Not bad. It'll go ashore very shortly.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't take long at all.
Hey, you can't park there.
You know, everybody's version of boating's a little different. Some people want to get out there and enjoy their time on the water with their families, hitting the sandbar. Others want to get out there and go fishing, and some, well, they like using the boat to visit beautiful locale. But the Googans, they always find a way out there, no matter what they're doing. I mean, some of the Googans just want to get in the air and actually not be on the water. Welcome back, crew, to this episode of Googans of the Week. Now, one thing's for sure, if you get the Googans out there in some windy and wavy conditions, things are definitely going to go wrong. Sometimes it's the pros, sometimes it's the amateurs. I have to imagine these Googans are 100% regretting their decision to go out and enjoy a day sailing. Now, of course, the Googans like to run into things and have things go wrong, so it's not uncommon to see things missing on a boat, like the sail in the last clip or this in this clip. Or even seeing the Googans that are pros out there losing something like this. They're not done, they'll lose the other one too. Now sure, it's not uncommon for the Googans to get out there on the water and lose pieces of the boat, but one thing you definitely expect the Googans to lose when they're out there on the water, they're going to do something silly and they're probably going to lose their dignity at some point in time, kind of like this crew here. Takes a shot, and all of a sudden takes a shot at the boat. Now one thing's for sure though, even if the Googans lose their dignity, they're going to try and look good doing it. Now there's nothing like getting out there and camping on the boat, but these Googans took that a little too far. Now, I absolutely believe this is one of the worst things you can do on a boat, is be sitting right next to the motor as she's running. Now, this one's not a good one either, and that's getting caught in the surf, especially on a sailboat that's got a big keel. Let me know in the comments below if any of you are surprised as well that somebody on the crew decided to ride this one out as they try and get towed off the beach. Now, often we think about the Googans having problems on the water, but don't get me wrong, the Googans find a way to get in trouble off the water as well. I mean, I can't tell from this one what exactly is going on, if this is a Googan move, some sort of training, or what in the world's actually happening, especially when we see somebody go over the side rail like this as well, but it is a wild scene to watch. This trailer looks like it's holding on for dear life. Now, do you think this trailer's sized right for this boat, or have they tried to put too much weight on it? Now, instead of trying to tow this one out of the water, maybe they should have just took a clue from our next crew and they could have just put it high and dry on the water.
It's like, he's walking around on his own little island. He's gonna stake it. I called him Dumbbell Island.
I mean, there's nothing like getting out there and enjoying an e-boat ride, but if you're gonna sure you know what you're doing.
What's that?
Now, sometimes you can see the Googan move coming before it even happens. But honestly, he put it right in the slip, like a glove. Now, sometimes the Googans do come up with some ingenious moves, like when you lose steering on the boat, you still gotta find a way to get back in, just like this crew does. Now, one thing we always say about the Googans is no matter what's going on or what is wrong, they're gonna find their way out onto the water.
He said, fuck it, I'm gonna go fishing anyway. Fucking kidding me, right?
And then, of course, sometimes no matter what, the Googans are just going to find their way into the water. Now, sometimes we'll see the Googans out there having a good time, and you can't really tell if it's a Googan move, they know what they're doing, or they're just out there having fun. I gotta believe this situation's a little bit of a combination of all the above, because anytime you're playing in the surf in a boat, in between the break, you're asking for a little bit of trouble, but sometimes you're out there just enjoying yourself, having a good time. Now, of course, sometimes the Googans make mistakes out there in the water that aren't huge mistakes, but maybe they just forgot something and they're trying to do it too late. Or sometimes the Googan mistake's going out there and buying that bigger boat without measuring the slip to make sure it'll fit. But don't worry, the Googans will find a way to make it fit. Just like even if they don't have the correct truck to pull the boat, they'll find a way to get it launched anyway. Now, one place you definitely don't expect to see the Googans pulling Googan moves is going to be over at the old mouse house. But don't get me wrong, the Googans, as we've mentioned 100 million times, always find a way. So even when they visit the mouse, they still find a way to go out there and sink that boat. Now, of course, anytime you're heading out on the water, you're going to expect to see a Googan or two, but it's not often that you see them moving in packs. And sometimes you don't even gotta get on the water to find the Googans. All you gotta do is go down to your local beach, and maybe the Googan couldn't get out on the boat that day. They still find a way to get themselves out on the water and get themselves into trouble. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Googans of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button.